Johnny Yong Bosch is here.
There we go.
He also does magic.
I do.
Watch this. Look at our stairs. Look how they work. He's a master of martial arts,
There's a
voice
hole
acting,
there.
and stairs.
All right, that was actually kind of hard.
You can
All
pick
right.
you can pick a chair, either one of those.
I know. I feel weird though sitting down.
Don't sit down then. It's all up to you.
I feel like these are blocking my face for these people here. So
It also looks like you have a desk, and we're all in your office because we're in trouble for something.
exactly.
So,
All right, I'm gonna stand up.
cool.
So my name is Johnny Yong Bosch. If you don't know who I am, I was a Power Ranger. I was Adam in Power Rangers, the Black Ranger, and then green, and then back to black. I've also done some voiceover, some anime, some video games. Thank you. Ichigo and Bleach, Vash and Trigun, Lelouch and Code Geass. Video games, Nero, Devil May Cry 4. Let's see, Tori and Kadera in Star Wars. Bumblebee and Transformers. A few other things that you may or may not know. But how are we doing this? You're in charge here.
Well, that's right. I figure what the best thing to do is do we have questions? Raise your hand if you have a question you would like to ask. Yeah, see, that's sort of what I thought. So let me look into questions on social media, because we may. And if we don't, we'll just go. So probably.
Is this being recorded?
Yeah.
So I probably should sit here, right? Because that looks like it's aimed right at my crotch if I stand.
You can.
And that's going to be a really strange video to post online.
Is it? It's all on her, man. I mean, it's wide. It's wide.
Okay.
Unless you like fly off the stage.
I don't know, it just feels weird.
Feels kind of weird.
It's like, now it feels right.
We should have called this An Evening with Mr. Bosch.
Yes.
I can get behind that. That's a show.
So are you going to run back and forth and get these questions, or?
Yeah, I am.
All right, go for it.
I'm ready. I'm like.
All right, guys, here's the thing. Let's make them run back and forth, side to side. So if you have a question here, we'll go there, and then you guys raise here.
Watch this.
Deal.
We're going to start right here.
I'm going to scoot forward.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
I got a question for you, and it's actually kind of an acting career question. After your, after 1997, after you finished doing your series with Power Rangers, how did it affect your acting career, and how did it motivate you and stuff like that?
After Power Rangers at that time, how did it affect my career? Basically, if I'm going to be honest, after Power Rangers, it was very difficult to get a job for a couple reasons. The first reason is Power Rangers was frowned upon by any like casting agents or anything like that at the time. It was just not, like, nobody took that serious at all, because it's a kids show, it's cheesy, so nobody was like no. Or they didn't like the whole, they didn't like Saban or something, you know. The other side to it was that I'm a half Asian. And if you don't know that, in the mornings, come look at me in the early morning and I'm like this, then you'll be like, yeah, he's Asian. He's Asian. I know that's racist. Sorry. Half of me is offended. But,
Is the other half okay, though? That's what I need
right,
to
the other
ask.
half is fine.
Okay,
But,
great.
and so at that time, so I'm half Asian, right? And so going into if I get like a call sheet and I go in for a part, especially back then, and it's like Asian, you know, or Chinese guy, right? And I go in there, me like this, and then there's a guy that comes up and he's like, looks Chinese, like looks more Asian than me, he's gonna get the part over me, yeah, hands down. And the flip side was also like I get called in for some Caucasian roles, and then of course like a dude that's much more Caucasian is gonna get it. So at that time it was really, really hard for me to get a job. There's never a half Asian role. I got lucky to be on Power Rangers. In fact, they made me change my name because it didn't sound Asian enough on Power Rangers. So the Young is actually not my real middle name. That's my mom's name. And so they wanted, hey, there's bird poop on this table. I almost put my hand on it.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm
Is
not
it
kidding.
really?
That's bird
Maybe
poop.
it's gum or something.
That is not gum.
No.
That is bird poop.
Do not move this piece of paper.
All right, I won't now.
Johnny Yong Bosch. What is your real middle name?
Jay.
That's what I thought.
It's my dad's army buddy.
Okay,
But
that has a different flow to it.
it does. It doesn't sound very Asian. So anyways, yeah, it was very tough for me to get a job at that time. And then what happened, I'm going to go off on a slant. But, and so I had a real tough time trying to get a job, but the stunt guys, all these Japanese, the stunt team, Alpha Stunts, they wanted to do an action film. And so they hired me to do the action because they knew I was a martial artist. I trained with them all the time. And so, anyway, so I did this role. They're all Japanese. The camera they were using was Japanese, but the sound guys were not Japanese. So when they were trying to get the audio out, something got screwed up, and so all the audio was trash. And so I had to go in and dub myself over the film. And so when I was in there dubbing myself over this film, the producer walked in and heard my voice and was like, "Hey, you got a good hero voice." And I was like, "Cool." And then he called me in to come audition on some anime, which was actually, the first audition was Trigun, and I booked that role. And so that was the first thing that got me into voiceover. Luckily, I got that opportunity, which really sucks for the sound guys, because for them, if they didn't screw up, I wouldn't be here talking about voiceover. Like,
Thanks,
for me,
sound guys.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks for blowing it. But for them, it was probably like the worst thing in their career.
See, sometimes when you make horrible mistakes, great things happen.
Exactly.
Sometimes. Before we take another question, I was curious. I'm friends with, maybe you all know her, Karen Ashley, on Facebook. And you guys are working on a little something right now called The Order. Yeah? Maybe you have something.
All two people know of it. All right, so.
Three. I didn't woo, though, so.
Hey,
Woo!
if you know about it, you should be wooing.
That's right.
All right, so basically, I'll just tell you real quick. Three. So The Order is a film that's got like 20 Power Rangers in it. So if you're familiar with Power Rangers, you would recognize half of the cast, if not all of them. Basically, we shot about 5-10% of the film to show like proof of concept that we can actually do a film, and we had to bring everybody in, so we had a limited amount of time to actually shoot and a limited budget, and so we shot basically a teaser to show off what we can do. And there's a campaign. If you just go to the-order-movie.com, you can see the trailer and then check out all the info for it. But there's a good chance that we're going to be filming the movie. Yeah.
It's there. The trailer.
Yeah, it's an action film. Yeah. Although in the trailer, I play the villain, which I'm not really supposed to be. Like, that role was actually Jason Frank's role, but he couldn't take it because he was busy with another project. So I had to fill in his role.
Being like all super energetic and yelling all the time. Is that what the role required? Because that's what he does. Every time I see him, he's just like yelling in the corner of a room with like 500 people surrounded around him.
I do yell.
Okay.
I do yell
hired.
at one point.
You're hired.
Yeah.
Cool. Questions? Okay, let's go right here. I'm gonna come to you because you're closer. See, I'll work this my own way.
Hi. I have a small question and a follow-up comment. It's not weird, don't worry. Are we ever going to see Nero again?
Are you going to see Nero again? There's a good chance, but I don't know what I can actually say at this point.
What'd you say?
I'm saying I've not started working on it. That's all I can't really even, I'm not even sure if I can say that.
Cool. Did you catch my comment?
What's the comment? Yes.
What'd you say?
Oh, that was the comment?
Come on!
Oh, gotcha. All right. The taunts. All right? Yeah.
Here we go.
Are you who's played Devil May Cry 4? So you guys are familiar with those the taunts? And so I'll tell you a quick story before we go on this next question.
Sure, yeah.
But so we're in Japan, myself and Southworth and Ruben, who plays Dante, and so the only reason why they brought out Americans to play the roles really is because culturally it's different. Like most people are more familiar with like American movies and things like that, but Japanese is very different. And in fact, Dante had some strange idle moves. And one of them, like if the character's idle, you're playing a game, just if you don't know, if you don't play games, you're playing a game and you stop playing and the character's just standing there, they start doing things like what he did, or they, like I think I like strum a guitar or whatever, an air guitar. But then Dante would do a couple things in Japanese that were really weird. And Ruben had to call me over he was like, Johnny, can you come check this out? I'm trying to explain this is very strange. And so one of them was like when he goes idle, he goes like this, sits down like that, right? And the thing is like, Americans don't really sit down like that. When we crouch, we'll probably like take a knee, right? We'll take a knee or something. We don't go like this, like, right? And I'm like, and so he called me over and I was like, yeah, I don't know, that looks like maybe you're gonna take a dump or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird. And another move was this one here, which they didn't do this one. They were like, okay, we won't do it, but it was like this. Like that, and I was like, what is that, like a monkey? What is that? And they're like, no, it's like a very threatening Yakuza stance. And I'm like, yeah, that's not very threatening for us.
I could just like push you over.
No, it just seems weird, right? Like this is...
I would think there was something wrong with you.
If you go to Japan and you see a dude doing this, he's Yakuza, walk away.
Just for your information.
Just so you know.
If that ever happens.
So you know.
So you're in a band, I Shine.
Yes.
Any news, like any future projects, or when can we expect another
With my
album?
band?
Yes.
We do have a new album, yes. We have not released it yet. It's probably going to be another... Well, see, the order thing really took up a lot of my time. And so we're picking back up. And so I think we'll have it by the end of August. I think we'll have our new album released by then. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yes, super easy.
Follow-up question. Where's Polo?
Polo. Yeah, Polo usually comes with me. Polo is my lead guitarist in I have a band, if you don't know, I Shine, EYESHINE. You can check us out. In fact, on one of our acoustic albums, we did a spoof song called Rangers vs. Zombies. It's actually something I improv'd on stage once. But yeah, Polo usually comes with me, but this time he couldn't make it. But he's a lot of fun.
Questions? Oh, here we go.
How do I become a voice actor, or where do I need to go to become a voice actor?
To become a voice actor, you first have to have a voice. And then you also have to have actor experience or acting. And once you have those things, I think acting is the most important part of it, because it's complicated. I wouldn't solely choose just voice actor. Go into it trying to become an actor, you know, and then you can obviously look for voiceover stuff like that. But it's harder to break into voice acting than it is to just get into acting. And it's hard if you're thinking more like anime-wise. You got to match flaps, you know, like the flap is going like this, and so you got to talk and make that fit wherever it's at, and then still make it sound normal. Like if you listen to old anime stuff like Speed Racer, it's weird, you know, because they're like trying to fit it into the flaps, and it's just odd. But now we're just much better at it, and we rewrite the scripts a little bit. But yeah, get an agent and then try to get some auditions. That's how you get into it. Yes.
Questions over this way.
Any questions?
Here we go.
Hey, out of my two favorite characters that you've played, Ichigo and Lelouch, which would you say was probably your favorite one to do?
I'd probably say Ichigo was more fun for me. I'm not really sure why I would say that. I think he was just more fun to play. Like, I guess, you know what? Okay, so I was actually working on both those shows at the same time. And I found out quickly, like after a Code Geass session, like I would leave and feel, I don't know, dirty or unclean or something, you know, like like something I would leave feeling like I did something bad, like to another person, not like I did some bad work, but it was just like I felt bad afterwards, you know. And so I'd always schedule bleach session afterwards, because then I go in, I just like fight a bunch of things and scream and shout, and then it's like therapy. I walk out feeling great, you know. And that's usually how I had to stack my recordings or sessions or whatever would be Code Geass and then Bleach. I tried it the other way and I just felt dirty. I'm like, I just killed somebody. I don't feel good.
On Durarara 2, there's an episode, the last episode, actually. It's after Celty is done.
Are you gonna spoil? Are you gonna spoil?
No.
Okay.
No spoilers, people. No spoilers.
But that last part, do you think Celty helped Isaiah?
You know what now?
Do you think Celty tried to help Isaiah?
Maybe.
Whenever all the anime characters that you've done, which one was your favorite?
Your favorite anime character?
My favorite that I've worked on? My favorite anime? That's tough. Oh my goodness. I've done so many of them. I don't know. I don't have it. That's like, what's your favorite child? I don't know. It's like,
Pick one.
I don't. They're all lovely. It's easier for me to tell you the ones I didn't like. More for the character. Fate Stay Zero, I didn't like that very much, only because I hated my character. Ryunosuke, he's just a creepo douchebag. I was like, tell me he's gonna die at some point. Yeah, so I guess it's easier for me to tell you my least favorite. That's got me on another subject.
Yeah,
I'll tell you my least favorite role ever. Okay, so it's this video game, and usually on video games, a lot of projects actually, but video games especially, they don't tell you the name of the game because they want to keep it top secret. You also have to sign NDAs; you can't talk about it forever. And so I didn't know the name of it. I think it was a Namco game. That's all I knew. And I got called up. Hey, we just got a part for you if you want to come in or whatever. And I was like, sure. I didn't know anything about it. I just said yes to it. I probably should have asked more questions, but I didn't. And so I went in, and then he's like, all right, so you're going to be Goblin number 13. And it was a number. I don't know if it was 13, but it was a Goblin number, right? So it was like 13 or something. And so I was like, okay, this character is not very important. And so I go and I start looking through the script and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to say just to get a head start. And it's all just vowels in the script. I'm like, what is this? You know, I was like, is this a typo? I don't get it. And I'm like, what is all the vowels? What is this? And they're like, oh, you know, it's just Goblin stuff, Goblin talk. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, and I was like, I don't know any goblins. I don't know what a goblin sounds like. And they're like, you know, just goblin noise or whatever. And I remember thinking like, I have no idea what to do. And then I just went like this. I was like, and they were like, yeah, perfect. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right, I can do that. And so for 4 hours I went, you know, he's like, you're on fire. You know, you're falling off a cliff. You're being pierced with a spear. You know, you're laughing. I don't know. It's just like that for like 4 hours, and then a lot of it was like screaming on fire, electrocuted, and all that. So after 4 hours of doing, you know, you can't talk. And so I lost my voice, and the next day I was supposed to start like a new project and do a young kid voice, but I couldn't because I had lost my voice. So I lost a job basically for a whole series. Because of that game that I don't even know the name of.
What it was.
Yeah, so that's my least favorite one, whatever game that was. One of these days I'm gonna walk by the game room and hear like, and I'll be like, that's it. But
burn every copy of that game.
I know. If anybody ever plays a game and there's a goblin that goes, let me know.
What about your favorite anime character that you didn't voice?
Favorite anime character that I didn't voice?
Yes, just your favorite character.
Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust, that was like one of my favorite animes. I mean, Speed Racer, growing up, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Questions? We'll come over here. There's like 4 people over here. I see, that's a cool jacket. I'll get over there and see. Here we go.
First off, hi. For you, what's the difference between acting on camera and acting in a booth to a microphone? What's the big difference?
What's the big difference between acting on camera and voiceover?
Yes.
Well, voiceover, I can be just about any character. Like I can be an orange-haired white guy. I can be, you know, a bird monster or something, you know. Whereas on camera, I pretty much have to be a half Asian guy, unless they're gonna do some, you know, crazy makeup stuff. And also on camera, it requires much more of yourself, like your complete body. Everything has to be acting, you know. In the booth, I can show up in my pajamas and it doesn't matter, you know. The thing that would be different would be like Devil May Cry 4, because they flew me to Japan and I did all the motion capture as well as the voice. So that was kind of weird actually, but it was much closer to being like actual film or whatever. So yeah.
Hello, Mr. Johnny Yong Bosch. I know you got the role of Fury in Dissidia, the video game. How did that come to be?
I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I can't remember. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was just the guy who was directing Bob Buckles, who I've worked with before and work with a lot more now, but he just called me up and had this role for me. And so, yeah. Usually if you work with somebody on another project and if they know you can do the job, they'll just bring you in if they can. Otherwise they make you audition. So I'm pretty sure that one I didn't have to audition. I just got called up. Yeah.
Just do me a favor real quick and tell me that you're a frog.
All right. Well, if you want me to say that line, then you have to be Dulcia and say, Adam, what's wrong?
Adam, what's wrong?
I'm a frog. You guys know what that's from? All right, if you don't know what that, all right, if you don't, let me explain. If you don't know what that's from, you're like, what is that? That's so stupid. All right, so in the first Power Ranger movie, if you don't know what the Power Rangers are, I'll explain it real quick. We're teens with attitude, and we wear spandex when we fight. We're like superheroes, but we lost our powers, and so we had to find our inner animal spirit. And Tommy, our fearless leader, was the Falcon, the winged lord of the sky. And there was like a wolf and a bear and a gorilla and all these cool things. And then there was me, the frog. And actually, I'll tell you really another part of that. The script, it wasn't written that way in the script. In the script, like she goes through and tells everyone, you're this, you're smart and whatever. And she gets to me, you're the frog, you're fast. And had something to do with speed originally. Like, because we shot like a bunch of other stuff and like my character was supposed to be like super fast. And like there was a training sequence that we shot where I was trying to catch flies with chopsticks, but I couldn't. And so instead I pulled out that gun, you know, the Power Ranger gun, and started shooting them all. So we had shot that sequence, you know, which I thought was cooler because it gave each Power Ranger a thing, you know. But then what happened was we had the first script and then the second draft came out like as we were filming. And then all my stuff, all my Black Ranger stuff was taken away and given to another Ranger. Like all my action sequences. And I was like, dude, that stinks. And the producer came up and they're like, well, yeah, they complained that you're new and they have seniority and they should have more things than you. And I was like, that really sucks. And so I was kind of depressed. And so we got to that scene where she's handing out your abilities and stuff. And I remember thinking, frogs aren't really that fast. So I used to catch them in my backyard. And so I asked the director, I was like, hey, could I just be bummed out about being a frog? And then he was like, well, yeah, that sounds interesting. They're like, well, let's do it like the script and then we'll try it your way. And so we tried it one way with me being bummed out. And then they're like, actually, that kind of works. And so we changed the scene a little bit. So I get to say that I added a little bit to that film. And then the second movie, you don't have to watch that one either, I'll just explain. We're Power Rangers, we wear spandex, and we lose our powers, and we have to get new powers.
You would think that you guys were better at keeping your powers, right? Like, by the second movie, after you got them back in the first movie.
No.
Okay.
No. And so we lost our powers again, because, well, which we started to shoot. I'll have to explain that later. All right, anyway, so I lost the powers or whatever, and everybody gets cool vehicles. Tommy, our fearless leader, gets the race car. And the new kid gets like a monster truck, and I get a green minivan. So I remember thinking this would be actually funny if I just started complaining about having like, I had the frog before, now I got a green minivan. I don't even have a family, you know. And I thought like that'd be kind of a funny throwback to it. And I had brought it up to Shuki, a producer at the time. He's like, Johnny, you are not funny. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, thanks a lot, buddy. But that's how it worked out.
And then he just went into this weird Yakuza crouch, and you were like, no way, man, I'm out of there.
No, that's what I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got into the weird Yakuza stance.
Yeah.
And then he was like, what are you doing? Are you a monkey? It doesn't make sense.
You obviously do a lot of voices, but how do you distinguish every single one of them? Like, one day you'll be Vash and Peace and everything, then you'll be Ichigo, kind of angry a little bit. How do you distinguish them?
Usually when I go in, I'm prepared, you know. And sometimes if I'm not, I've got to like try to find the voice. I usually, like a lot of actors do this, but they'll have like a phrase or something that helps them find the voice. Like I'm working on Yokai Watch, and usually I got to go, my name is Nate Adams, you know, and then I'm like, okay, Nate Adams talks like this a little bit, you know, so he's in that range. So it just depends on the character, you know, really. I have like little things that I will do. Ichigo is just me. I just go in there and I just be me. But sometimes kind of a little douchier, but you know, that's pretty much kind of me the whole time.
Cool. Hey, Johnny. Hey.
Hey, what's up?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Pin it or sticker?
Wait, what?
Pin it or sticker?
Well, Johnny, what do you think? You're good either way?
Sticker all the way.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking, sticker. Have you guys seen Space Dandy? All right, all five of you?
A few
All
people.
right.
Okay, one more question.
Yes.
What do you prefer, the booty or the booby?
Johnny, what do you prefer?
I'm a slave to the booty, as am I.
All right. I'll tell you that Space Dandy is a really wild show. I wasn't familiar with it. I'd seen like previews of it, and I thought, man, that looks like an interesting show. And I got an email from who was directing? Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. But I got an email. It's like, hey, so we got this role in this show called Space Dandy, and there's a character in there that has a band. He's like a rock band kind of guy, and his name is Johnny. Do you want to be him? And I was like, well, how appropriate. I was like, yes, I do. So yeah, that's how that came about. Do you guys want to hear a story? Have you guys heard the quarter story? Who has heard my quarter story?
Not enough people. Let's
Not
hear
enough.
it.
It's time. Okay, so bear with me as I tell this story. I gotta stand up for this one. All right, so this is a true story. Whenever I go to work, I have to take the freeway, and so obviously coming back home, I exit an off-ramp. There's a light there, and I have to make a left to go under the overpass at that light. And at that light on the corner, there's always been like a homeless guy standing on the corner. And typically on the corner, if I'm in my car, I've never really given money to somebody because I feel like they could jack me. I don't know, I'm like strapped in. And so this one day, I exit the off-ramp, and there's like 4 or 5 cars in front of me. So, I don't know, like from me to a little bit beyond that wall there. There's like 4 or 5 cars in front of me, and there's a red light, and behind me pulls up this monster truck. And it's just towering over me. And I can feel the vibrations of the engine, and I can see the tires just, right? And I feel it vibrating, and in my mind, I start picturing monster madness, you know? And as soon as that turns green, it's like, bing! Like these cars are gonna be all like, including me, is just gonna be run over by this monster truck behind me, just boom, like I got this image in my head. Just got this little panic, and I'm thinking, as soon as that turns green, you guys better go, because I can feel it like, it might be a lady, I couldn't really tell, it's like a tinted window, but I felt the panic, and I had a Ziploc bag full of carrots that were left over from lunch, and so I'm like scarfing them down like my last supper, waiting for this thing to change. And I look over there expecting to see another homeless person on the corner, a homeless guy standing on the corner, which has always been there. And I look and I see a homeless woman standing there, and my heart went out to her. I felt bad, you know, I was like, man, that could be my mom. You know, so I gotta do something. I felt obligated to do something. And in LA, I don't know what it's like here, but in LA you have to pay for parking everywhere. So my cup holders are full of quarters. And I just finished all these carrots, and I had this empty Ziploc bag, and I thought, dude, I'm gonna scoop up every single quarter I have, and I'll put them in the Ziploc bag, and I'll give it to her, you know? And I've never done this before, so I don't really know how to do this. Like, you know, I assume I stick my hand out and she'll walk over and get it. And so again, like, there's a good distance away, like me beyond the wall, and I scoop up all these quarters, I zip it up, I'm like, whoa, this is like 3 pounds worth of quarters. All right, so I roll down the window, I'm like, this is awesome. She's gonna go change her life with this. And so I put my hand out the window just like this. She's at the end and she goes, she has her sign and she sees me. She's like this. And I was like, what? I thought you were supposed to come get it. Like, I can't throw it. It's like this far. Like, I can't throw that far. Like, I was like really confused, like trying to figure out, no, I can't get out right now. And so as I'm thinking this, like, what's supposed to happen? The light turns green. And these cars in front of me must have felt the vibration of this monster truck because they took off, right? They're like gone. And so I started going. And I'm approaching this lady, you know, and I look down, I'm like, holy cow, I'm going 25 miles an hour now towards this lady with a 3-pound bag of quarters. How's this exchange gonna happen?
Not well.
You know? And I'm like, okay, well, what if I just get her, slam it in her gut, you know, like a football player? She'll be like, oh, got it, you know? And I'm like, nah, well, that's not gonna work. What if she hangs on to it too long and I pull her under my car? Or I hang on to it too long and I get dragged out of the car. So I'm starting to freak out. 25 miles an hour, 3-pound bag of quarters. The monster truck is right behind me, so if I try to slow down, he's gonna run me over. So then I go like, oh. I have this moment of clarity, this epiphany, and I'm like, Johnny, you're a martial artist. All you have to do is focus. It's timing. 3-pound bag of quarters, 25 miles an hour. All you have to do is this. And watch it gracefully land into her hands. And so I'm like, all right, Johnny, you could do this. There I am, 3-pound bag of quarters, 25 miles an hour. And I'm like, now. And I release. And if you've ever been in an accident, time slows down. All right? And I think, this is what I imagine. Like, I think God hit a slow motion button. It was like, Jesus, Moses, grab some nachos and popcorn. Let's watch this one in slow-mo. This is the moment we're going to play back when he's dead. Over and over again. And so there I am. 25 miles an hour, 3-pound bag of quarters. And I release. And I watch as this 3-pound bag of quarters flies through the air. It was probably beautiful from any other perspective. And smack her in the face. The bag rips open, the quarters fall glistening in the sunlight, and all I can do is this. No! Going so fast, there's nowhere to turn around. I just screech around the corner. It's like a drive-by quartering from any other perspective. Me yelling no and slamming her in the face and peeling around the corner. There's nowhere to turn around to go see if she's still alive. This is all I saw of her. She went down as I screamed no, and the quarters falling all around her. It's a true story. So if there's a lesson to be learned, is don't give money to homeless people while driving your car.
At 25 miles an hour.
Yeah. But that's a totally true story. This is also true. Before that day, there's always been some homeless guy standing on the corner. But after that day, never again. There's never been a homeless person there. I drive by there every single time, expecting to see like even like a white cross. I mean, I should probably put the cross down and a bag of quarters or something. But never again on that corner. And I imagine like homeless people, like this dude standing by a barrel fire. This other homeless guy walks up and is like, hey Bob, how's it going? Where's Sally? Oh, you didn't hear? She's dead. Some guy killed her with quarters. It's a true story though, guys. I know you'll think less of me now. But just know, if I'm walking around with a bag of quarters, I mean business. I should run for office, or presidency, and carry a bag of quarters. Homeless people would scatter, though, I think.
Go into the little stance with your bag of quarters and it's over.
That's right.
Yeah. Here we go.
I have a 2-part question for you.
2-part.
Okay. The first one is, what's your next voice acting character going to be?
What's the next role? I can't talk about any of them. Okay. I mean, I can only talk about the ones that they've already announced, like Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans or Gundam Thunderbolt. Yeah, the other stuff I can't talk about yet. I'm still working. So, is this wood? This is wood. I'm knocking on it. Like, I'm not even superstitious.
So can you take me with me? Could you take me with you then?
Take you with me?
Yeah, to go to the voice job.
To where?
I don't know.
Where am I taking you?
To your next project.
To my next project?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Are you going to carry my bags for me?
Yes. Here we go. We got time for like 3 more. You, and then we'll go in the back, and you. I saw your hand first.
Hey, so you usually have a lot of gigs going on. Do you find more job security in a lot of small gigs or in one long project?
It depends on the project, really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it depends on the project because they don't always pay the same. But obviously, a longer project is going to pay you a longer time. So I guess that is pretty comfortable. But the other thing is, like, sometimes those longer roles or longer running series don't always end up being that great, or usually end too soon or something odd, you know? So it's kind of a gamble, but it really depends on the project.
Also, can we expect you to be Crollo in the Hunter x Hunter dub?
I'm not in Hunter x Hunter. Yes.
Are you trying to be?
I know I had a couple auditions that I missed because I was out of town. But, yeah. Yes.
So, hand to hand, head to head, who do you think would win, you or Jason David Frank?
Hand to hand, like thumb wrestling. I think Jason Frank has bigger thumbs than I do. Probably wouldn't be fair.
I'm really kind of confused by the hand-to-hand thing too, like arm wrestling maybe.
No, it's this thing.
Oh, the slap game. Yeah, I don't know.
Which he's really good at.
Now
he's got the white. He's our fearless leader.
He has the Falcon,
he's
the
got
race
the Falcon,
car.
the winged lord of the. I'm a frog, all right. What do you expect?
Hello,
Catch
Johnny.
flies. Yes.
Let's see. As I remember it, you are still a martial artist, I take it.
I am still. I don't know if you can tell. I still got bruises. Can you see the bruises? I can't tell. I look like, you know, you guys are like, you're a druggie. No, I got bruises and scratches. This one's from grappling before getting here. These ones are from Wing Chun, wooden dummy stuff.
Well,
I know I have some Filipino like stick hits all over my body, like here. Actually, I can feel the bruises here.
Oh, so I'm guessing there's no chance for you to give us a little crash course on self-defense moves.
Self-defense moves. I mean, why am I you gonna come up here?
Too bad we don't have time for that one. That's the last one.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed the bruises earlier. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, no, I should have worn longer sleeves. I thought about it, but.
How often do you train? Still.
I train every day. And sometimes that only means like running a mile or 2 miles, jump rope for 10. I always run at least a mile a day and jump rope for 10 minutes. But I usually do that morning and night. And then in between there, I'll have like martial arts. You know, I actually go a couple times a week. And then also I take some private lessons too.
Fun. Let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Johnny Yong Bosch.
Is that all the time I have?
Yep, you're good.
I thought it said 2 o'clock.
We're moving stuff around and all kinds of stuff.
I'm being kicked out of here, guys.
You're
Thank you
not.
so much for being here. And I guess I'll see you maybe over there. Right?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They could come see you at your table.